He thought no one would fight back.
Every neighborhood has one house people avoid, but in this case, it wasn't the house, it was the man. Officer Daniel Cross had lived on Pine Ridge Street for 6 years. He wore his uniform proudly, parked his patrol car where everyone could see it, and made sure people knew exactly who he was. Parents noticed something strange. Teenagers would suddenly cross the street when they saw him. Kids stopped hanging out on sidewalks. A few stopped riding their bikes altogether. At first, people assumed he was just strict, a cop who liked rules, a cop who scared kids into behaving. But whispers began spreading. Teens said he stopped them for no reason, threatened them with arrest, told them he could ruin their future with one phone call. Most parents didn't want trouble. They told their kids to stay quiet, to stay inside. But one mother didn't believe in silence, and she was about to change everything. Maria Alvarez first heard the rumors from her son's best friend. The boy stood on her porch, shaking, eyes locked on the street. He whispered that Officer Cross had stopped him the night before. No reason, no explanation. He said if I talked back, the boy said, he'd tell the school I was a criminal. Maria felt a cold wave hit her chest. Her son was 16. He walked home alone every evening. That night she asked him directly. He hesitated, then admitted Cross had warned him too, about hanging out, about posting online, about thinking he was smart. Maria wanted to call the police department immediately, but neighbors advised against it. He's one of them, they said. He's protected. Maria didn't sleep that night. She sat by the window, watching the street, and at 11:47 p.m. she saw Cross's patrol car roll slowly past her house, lights off. That's when she knew this wasn't just rumors. Officer Cross never threatened kids in public. He waited for empty streets, dim streetlights, moments without cameras. He'd park his cruiser, step out slowly, hand resting near his belt. He didn't yell, he didn't curse, he spoke calmly, which made it worse. He told teens he knew their names, their schools, their parents' work schedules. He explained how easy it was to write a report, how difficult it was to erase one. Most kids believed him. Why wouldn't they? He had a badge, a gun, a radio. Parents sensed something was wrong, but fear kept them quiet. Fear of retaliation, fear of being labeled anti-police. Cross relied on that fear. But he made one mistake. He underestimated a mother who had already fought harder battles in her life and wasn't afraid anymore. Maria didn't confront Cross, not yet. Instead, she started documenting dates, times, names, descriptions. She spoke quietly with other parents, listened, never promised anything. Patterns emerged. Same officer, same threats, same locations. Cross always worked night shifts, always near the park, always near the bus stop. Maria bought a small notebook, then another, then backed everything up digitally. She tried to file a complaint anonymously. It went nowhere. The department closed it within days. No evidence, no misconduct. That response didn't discourage her. It confirmed her suspicion. Cross wasn't just abusing power. He was being protected. On a rainy Thursday night, Maria's son came home late. His hands were shaking. His hoodie was soaked. Officer Cross had stopped him again, this time behind the grocery store. No cameras, no witnesses. Cross leaned in close and said something that crossed a line. "If your mom keeps asking questions," Cross whispered, "she won't like the answers." That was it. Maria didn't cry, she didn't panic. She opened her laptop, copied everything, sent emails to 3 places: a civil rights organization, an investigative journalist, and internal affairs under her real name. She knew what would happen next, and she was ready. Within 48 hours, Maria received a call. Not from internal affairs, from a police supervisor. He sounded polite, concerned, but something felt off. He suggested Maria was misunderstanding routine policing. He hinted that filing complaints could create stress for her family. Maria recorded the call. That same week, Officer Cross began driving past her house more often, slower, longer. Neighbors noticed. Maria wasn't scared anymore. She felt focused. Because now she knew this wasn't just one bad cop. It was a system trying to silence her. The journalist responded first. She asked one question. "Can you get me a teen willing to speak on record?" Maria didn't pressure anyone. She waited. 3 days later, a 17-year-old girl agreed. She described being stopped twice, threatened with arrest for attitude, told Cross knew where she lived. The interview was recorded, carefully, legally. Then another teen came forward, then another. The story was no longer rumors. It was evidence. When the article draft landed on desks, Internal Affairs reopened the case. Body camera logs were reviewed, patrol routes analyzed, radio traffic examined. They noticed something disturbing. Cross routinely turned his body cam off, claiming battery issues. GPS data showed unexplained stops, unlogged interactions. This time, the department couldn't quietly dismiss it. Too many eyes were watching. Investigators set a test. An undercover operation. A staged complaint. A monitored patrol. Cross didn't know. He stopped a teen. Issued threats. Turned off his camera. But this time, everything was recorded from another angle. The evidence was undeniable. The badge no longer protected him. Officer Daniel Cross was suspended first, then arrested. Charges included abuse of authority, witness intimidation, civil rights violations. Parents cried. Teens finally spoke openly. Maria watched the news quietly. She didn't celebrate. She knew the damage couldn't be undone. But accountability mattered. The police chief issued a public apology. Policies were reviewed. Body cam rules tightened. Oversight committees formed. But Maria knew reforms didn't erase fear overnight. Trust takes longer to rebuild than it does to break. Cross pled guilty. He admitted he believed no one would challenge him, that parents would stay silent. He was wrong, and his mistake was underestimating a mother who refused to be quiet. Months later, kids returned to the park. They laughed again. They lingered again. Fear slowly faded. Not because of police, but because of courage. Maria never ran for office, never sought attention. She simply did what others were afraid to do. She documented. She spoke. She didn't stop. And that made all the difference. Abuse of power survives silence, but it collapses under truth. This wasn't just a story about a corrupt officer. It was a reminder. Sometimes, all it takes to stop fear is one person willing to fight back. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's start the conversations that matter, the ones that lead to real change. And if you'd like more stories that challenge us, inspire us, and remind us of what we're capable of when we stand for what's right, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring more stories like this to light.